Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 0.46% to 31,713. Ethereum down 1.73% to 1942. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as part of our globally extended KS family. What we've just done together is do a really quick run through on the crypto market. This keeps you informed on what cryptos are moving in what sectors of the crypto market. It's incredibly valuable information, and you can refer back to this information in the future. It's really important to have a feeling for the crypto market overall, not just in a handful of projects, but to understand what the market is doing overall is very, very valuable. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the Masterclass, the tax software I use, and a lot of people are talking about tax, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that today. You can get 20% off by using that link, and you can also directly message me on Twitter at any time. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. There's always hope, and the sun will come out again. We talked a little bit about Rule 760 in yesterday's video. Start small and scale. This is really, really important. Cachoeira 1986 had this very, very good thing that was shared in the community in yesterday's video. Never go all in and more. Not respecting this lesson several times throughout the years before cost me a fortune, not to speak about the opportunity cost coming with that massive loss. It's very, very important to start small and scale. We never give up. We learn or we win. Now I've learned. I'm learning and winning. Just keep learning and enjoy the process. It is beautiful. Thank you, my friend. What is that discussion about? Yesterday we talked about how you can turn 10% if you can do it on average once per week, but there's no stress and there's no need for comparison. You don't need to turn 10% per week. You do whatever is comfortable for you. If you just want to hodl, that's comfortable for you, just do that. But this gives you an understanding that actually turning small percentages and doing it regularly can lead to incredibly large gains over time. And I'm going to show you an example just coming up next on what this can look like. So for example, if you put 1,000 in and you made 10%, you'd make $100 profit or $1,100. And if you did that every week, just accumulating each time, you'd make 11,639% profit. That actually could turn 1,000 into 117,390. I'm going to give you an idea of how this could occur, but you need knowledge, you need rules, you need patience. That sounds kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it? If you're wanting to do this every week, shouldn't you be just always in a trade? Not necessarily. And this is the point that will come up time and time again. Patience is required. You need to wait for the setup. Sometimes you can do much better than 10%. We need a real wealth focus, one of positive excellence and one of contribution into the world. Money is just a byproduct of success. It's not success. It's a byproduct of success, and we must buy on red. A beloved community member reached out and shared the trade that they had on NIA. I want to take you into this, some sort of anatomy, if you like, of this trade. You can see the current price here was going down. This particular person, this beloved community member, said, okay, I'm going to place layer orders, buy orders into the market to try to capture this. Now, don't forget, that price was coming down here and it was starting to turn around. So that particular person was after a long tail rejection, which is quite probabilistic. Perhaps just look at it this way. If I zoom in, you can see the price is around this particular area. And this person is just trying to capture anything that falls within that zone. That's very, very reasonable. And if we actually scaled in a bit, we can see here that that is quite a well-constructed theory. Now this is on the daily basis. I'm going to change it to a lower time frame. So let's play this out. What happened? Price came down. Nothing is hit yet. So patience is always required. And then what happens? It goes up. And it looks like, well, I may have missed this one. And it comes down. Oh, it might get filled. And then it goes down and hits it into that area. And we can see that those buy orders that were placed in that particular area were actioned. And now what does this particular beloved community member do? This member just wants to get out at this level of resistance. Why that level? Why not higher? Because we're not greedy and we don't care about missing out. One of the greatest problems that literally all traders and investors face is they try to buy the exact bottom. And this has wrecked more people than any other concept. If you're looking to buy the exact bottom, you will lose money. It's just a question of when. And if you're trying to sell the exact top, you will lose again. And this takes many, many years of practice to understand. Let's have a look how this particular trade played out. We can see it went down a little bit more, and then it started to come up. And then what happened? Over time, there was a sell because that was in this particular area. That's a very good technical sell. And then what happened? Let's have a look. The person sold again at a variety of different levels. Now, what happens next when they get out completely is just what the market does, and we never care about missing out. What happened then? We saw a big rally and it came down. But is this person missing out? No way. This is a very good technical trade. Could they have bought lower? Yes, they could. But were they in the position to buy lower? For example, if this person was busy at work or something like that and they didn't have the opportunity to check the market through, because what we do is as soon as orders are filled, we place the orders back into the market. So potentially this person didn't have the opportunity, or potentially they had so many alts with positions they just couldn't track. And this is why if you focus in on a couple of alts, you're going to do really, really well. Now, what actually happened between here and here? What was the return? The key here is that all of these trades from filling to selling occurred in 3 days and 20 hours. And I have to zoom out a bit to show you the actual trades. I won't present any trade to you without actually getting the source data. You can see all of these buys throughout these particular red levels, and you can see how much money was put into the market, about $2,649. These particular green areas, these are the sells. We sell on green, buy on red, sell on green, BORSOG. You can see that that amounted to $28.96. This person, in about 4 days, turned a 9.34% profit, which is about $250. Now, many people would say, oh, you could have done so much better. And possibly this person could have. If they were on this and they were managing this more directly, possibly. But remember, it's not about getting the exact bottom and getting the exact top. This is a good technical trade for the reasons I said. This person sold at resistance and bought at levels where they thought it was appropriate. Now, if we look at this particular thing, so the 27th of May and selling out on the 31st of May, we can see that this person, if they could just do this time and time again, and you saw how much the bottom was missed by and how much the top was missed by, they could make an annualized return of 346,000%. That just gives you some kind of idea. There is always opportunity in the market. And if you look at how much price has come down, this is a good trade. And you can see price coming up and down all over the place in near. And this is what cryptos do. They have crazy behavior. But look how much was actually made. This is a really, really good trade. And a lot of people would say, oh, you could do better. And of course, in retrospect, people can do better, but you don't know the lotto numbers of the next draw, and you don't know what number will turn up on what game next. For example, if you're playing roulette. And what we do is that we don't gamble. We just look at it like this. There is support through there. With retrospect, this particular person could have put support levels down, buy levels down to this area. So that could be a learning. And what do we see here? That could be a learning to actually go down to the lower level. But I still feel what was done was correct. There's a difference between doing things technically correct and trying to minimize your risk and then trying to gamble. Getting out at a reasonable level is what it's all about. But you can see just how possible it is. Tales from the Man Cave said in yesterday's video in the comments, and I love reading out people's comments, not competing with others is really important. Get inspired by the successes of others. It gives you a glimpse into what is possible and should encourage you to learn. There are no losers, just winners and learners. And Nenad said, trading style can be unique as you are. Just quoting me. A lot of people get worried about paying taxes, but paying taxes with trading is just a sign that you're moving forward in life. It's a sign of success. And a lot of people have a deeply negative personal relationship with money, and it's unknowingly programmed into people. For example, money is the root of all evil. Some people think that. But the love of money is the root of all evil, is actually what the Bible says. And it's true. Loving money and loving money for money's sake is like loving an infinite commodity. You can never get enough of it, and that's why it leads to very, very bad behavior. Sometimes people think only bad people have a lot of money. And some other people think that if you make money, the other person is losing. It's just not true. None of these things are actually correct. If you have a real wealth and positive excellence focus on life, you'll use your wealth for love, kindness, and gratitude. You'll create stronger bonds between people and yourself and your loved ones. Losses are the tuition fees of the markets and unavoidable, and you must absolutely know this. So when people actually don't buy the bottom, they say, oh, I missed out, and they'll get the calculator out and say, oh, see how much I missed. Please do not think that way. You're only after de-risk trading. You want to de-risk it as much as possible. And another thing, the more pain you have been through, the more financial and other blessings that will come. That's an absolute rule as well. You need to understand these things. If you get one step backwards, you will get 2 steps forward. If you get 10 backwards, you'll get 20 forwards. It all works out in your favor because life is for you. Life wants you to succeed. The key: start small, get the hang of it, learn what you can, and just know that when you're learning, you will probably lose what you put into the market. So for example, if you had $1,000 portfolio, what would I suggest? Starting small. I would say take 10% of that to trade and focus on one particular thing and then spread it out over 10 levels. What does that mean? $1,000 in total, take 10%, that's $100. Use $10 a level. It's not about getting money, it's about getting it right. Crypto technical analysts scientifically track investor attention, and investor attention is measured by price, which is reality, not future promises. The first thing that we do is to mark up our charts with the CTKS methodology, then look to outside trends. Just like a good detective, we collect probabilities. We then look back inside the crypto market, understanding that opportunities reset daily, enhancing our pattern recognition and finding the market's focus. Before we buy or we sell, We must have a real wealth, professional outlook on life, a positive excellence one. Very few people actually understand that trading and investing is a deeply psychological process. A lot of people just say, I just want the buy level, I just want the sell level. But you can get all of those things and more. But without the correct psychology, you'll get shaken out of your own trades, or you'll beat yourself up when you actually are successful. It's really important to be kind to yourself. Let's have a look into the main markets, because we know that Bitcoin's gravity is impacted by the stock market. We can see that fear has been coming out of the market, but we've also noticed that the Nasdaq 100 is on its journey upwards, but it had a bit of a retrace and it bounced. We can see bond prices coming down, bond yields coming up. Gold has hit resistance and has pinged down, and the dollar, the DXY, is getting close to that particular support line, and it's just come up recently. And we can see oil is also coming down. The put-call ratio is really interesting. We can see that less and less bearish bets are being made on the economy and the Nasdaq 100, and that's quite understandable. People feel it's going to come up to this resistance line, so let's just watch how that plays out. We've been talking about that a lot. And what is this blue line here behind all of these charts? That is Bitcoin's gravity. That's Bitcoin's fingerprint. We understand Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. We can see the level of fear starting to move to a positive direction, starting to move up into optimism. It's now 16. It was 10 yesterday. And why is that? Because more and more people are getting optimistic as price rises over this resistance level. That's really good. We may see Bitcoin's price come back in to test this resistance and resume off. The next level of resistance is up through here. Remember, have a look at your support and resistance levels. They're really, really important. Open interest. We can see Bitcoin open interest actually increasing over time. This throws positive momentum or positive force behind upward movements. Having a look at Bitcoin's price action relative to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is this white line. We can see the white line, the Nasdaq, has come up, just done a minor retracement, but it's over a level of resistance. It's just probably coming back into retest and resume back up. That's actually incredibly positive for Bitcoin, because we know that Bitcoin follows the gravitational bias of the stock market. When things are rocking and rolling, these two markets can go out of synchronization with each other, but they never decouple. It's just a crazy kind of thought to think that crypto, such a tiny market, can decouple from the stock market. It can't yet. Not even the bond market, which is worth over $100 trillion globally. And the stock market globally is also worth over $100 trillion. They can't decouple from each other. How possibly could crypto decouple from the stock market? If you think it can, please let me know in the comments. We're always interested in anybody's views because they're all important. We can see Bitcoin is currently trading at 31,838. We also see the relative strength has come into the market, and we were seeing this over time anyway. As prices came down, the relative strength was actually growing inside and underneath the market. So we expected when we got a breakout just down here, let me zoom in. It's a bit better. So as we can see on the daily basis, when we got above that particular resistance level, a short squeeze was very imminent. And I was calling out, if that gets above, we could be looking for a short squeeze that pushes prices way in excess of this particular resistance. And that's what it did. And this is the concept with crypto. You need to do so much detective work. But let's go to a lower time frame. We can see even though we got that breakout, it hit the level of resistance at 1, bounced back, got some strength to pass through that, and then got hit by 2 dual resistances. What do we want to see here? What's going to make us happy and push the crypto market forward? Getting above these 2 resistance lines here and here. That blue one is a very strong one. getting above, say, 32,000 is going to look fantastic. And then where could it go to next? If we get to that 32,000, this level, 33,434, would be the next stop. But we could also come down back to 30,814, or alternately even down more to 28,940. Remember, there is no certainty in the crypto market, but how are things actually looking? They're looking pretty good. They're looking like we actually cross one level of very tight resistance. And what does it look like we can go to now? Let me know your thoughts. Where do you think the crypto or Bitcoin is headed? Just pick out a number or a letter and just pop it in the comments. It's really good to do active learning. As a former lecturer in first and second year statistics, I really love it when people actually commit to learning and they put in the hard work. It's not about being right or being wrong. It's about refining your craft, refining your eye. As a globally extended family, we live according to real wealth foundations and a focus on positive excellence, which is all about kindness, inner and outer peace. We just don't get into conflict, not because conflict is an inherent part of the human condition, because we're smarter than that. We know that if we guard our inner peace, we can focus on what is important, and what is important, doing well, bringing the best you to every moment. And when we have gratitude, we have happiness, and integrity and decency are also incredibly important. So if you think that it's going to a number or to a letter, you will be supported by the community in your decision. Right or wrong doesn't matter. This lower red line, this very, very strong line from the KS model, it comes in at 24,377. That is, if we got some sort of climactic news, we would expect a bounce from that level. And what is the key level going up? It's 42,704. When price gets above here, and I really do believe it's going to get above there, all the people that were calling for a bear market would just be going the other way, just saying, oh, it's time for laser eyes. What we say is it's always a BORSOG market, buy on red, sell on green. You saw with that previous trade, you can do it. And you don't even have to do it refined. You don't have to buy the exact bottom and sell the exact top. And you can do really, really well over time. Masterclass students, you'll get my live chart in TG34. And you can see that price has been held by this blue line, this very strong resistance line. And price is trying to get above that. So let's have a look at how the shorts and longs are interplaying. We can see the shorts, this red line here. There were a lot of short liquidations and they're still getting liquidated. The longs are coming into the market more and more so. We know that the main markets had a little bit of a retracement. So how are the liquidations going in the crypto market? Over the past 24 hours, there's been 232.6 million in liquidations across 81,720 positions. And if we look at the past 24 hours on total liquidations, 68.85% were long. What about the past 12 hours? About 76.5% were long. What about the past 4 hours? 62.64% were short. You can see how things can turn around. What about the past hour? Nearly 90% of liquidations were short liquidations. The only thing I can say, please do not leverage trade. You'll get your account crushed. It's just a question of when. And start really, really small and just get the concepts and principles right. You don't have to rush in headlong. People who want to get rich quick get poor quick. So you don't want that. Get rich slowly. You'll keep it. And it'll just be something that you can do for the rest of your life. When having a look at the longs and the shorts, we can see the longs have been liquidated more than the shorts. That's absolutely the opposite condition of what happened yesterday. Turning to Bitcoin futures open interest, we can see much, much more open interest coming back into the market. Now, what does this mean? Look at this sort of orangey line, goldy line. Oh, a goldy line. That is Bitcoins. price. And what is this green area here, this green shaded area? That's futures open interest. Notice how they move together. This is a really, really good thing. What is this telling us? And we've been seeing this for a while now. There's underpinning strength inside the crypto market. What does that mean? Prices will, in all probability, not certainty, but probability, should go up. I thought I'd share some really interesting news with you. We know that Ethereum's price has been getting hammered since basically, well, for quite a while. Fidelity to offer Ethereum trading and custody services. And who is Fidelity? They are the fourth largest asset manager worldwide with over $4.5 trillion in assets under management. And you might remember that Fidelity Investments announced that they would be offering investors the option of including Bitcoin in their 401k retirement accounts with a maximum allocation of 20%. And Fidelity is hiring. Its digital assets subsidiary is hiring more than 200 people to build out the infrastructure needed to provide safe exposure to the Ethereum network. That is really, really positive for Ethereum, and we should keep our eye on that. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin options, and we can see the put-call ratio is 0.55, which means there are a lot of calls in the market. They're all the way up to $300,000, but there's quite a lot of call options between 60 to 70,000. The max paying price is 35,000. This is the price at which, if the options hit 35,000, all these call holders and put options will expire worthless. That causes the maximum pain to option holders. Let's pop across to DeFi. DeFi interest increased 4.57% to $111.88 billion in total lock value, or TVL. And when we look at TVL across all chains, we can see Ethereum, BNB, Tron, and AVAX are taking out the top 4 positions, and Tron has been growing very, very strongly. What are the greatest movers in the past day? Waves up 19.95%, Hot up 13.44%, ADA up 10.10%. Ooh, what a good percent. Carver up 8.26%, Rose up 8.11%, KCS 4.93%. What about going the other way? What do we see there? ZEC is down 5.7%, GMT about 5.5%, APE around 5.3%, KDA about 4.3%, Ethereum Classic about 4.2%, AVAX about 3.3% down, SHIB about 3.8% down, and Maker about 3.9% down. Let's have a look at the top crypto projects. We can see Bitcoin, and we've been analyzing this, but we understand that it's coming up to a level of resistance, something to be aware of. Ethereum following Bitcoin's gravity, that's that blue line, and we can see that Ethereum is following Bitcoin. What about Binance Coin? Also following Bitcoin's gravity, and we're seeing a bit of an uptick here in price. What about XRP? XRP following Bitcoin's gravity. What about ADA, Cardano? The Vassal hard fork is coming out June 29th. We're already starting to see a spike in price. This often happens when we see different releases. Let's have a look at Solana. Solana following Bitcoin's gravity. DOT also following it. What about Doge? Also following Bitcoin's gravity. It's really important, no matter what particular crypto you're in or where your portfolio is, to make in advance probabilistic choices about what you will actually do if prices go up, go down, or go sideways, or your portfolio value goes up or down or sideways. One thing that I absolutely recommend, if you've got a certain amount of money that you want to learn how to trade with, only take 10% of that money and then do layers. It's really important to keep your learning costs small. and the market always demands the tuition fee of losses. Some of the greatest traders that have ever lived, the greatest investors that have ever lived, have suffered loss after loss after loss, and they are really, really focused on never giving up. They don't care how many times they get wiped out until they learn. Now, you are going to get wiped out when you start to learn, so learn from a small amount of money. And when you get the knowledge, it's just a game changer. But the knowledge without the override of emotional control means that you will also get wiped out. You need to focus on your emotions. And a lot of people don't talk about that. And that's a big, big problem. Because after decades and decades in market, your emotional state will dictate your profitability. That's why we have Rule 570, psychology sets profitability. A lot of people, when they get into the market, are absolutely anxious and fearful about what can happen, and this is normal. What you will find as you go through your learning and your trading and your investing, you'll become a diamond hand, a diamond mind, and a diamond heart. And that's, can you think of a better way to actually do personal development? I can't think of any better way. Forget motivation. If you want to improve as a human being, just do trading. Because, as so many people have found out, without self-mastery, wealth disappears. Let's have a look at the Metaverse. How is the Metaverse going today? It's following Bitcoin's gravity. And look at Axie. It really shot up there. It did incredibly well. What about Decentraland, Mana? Axie's been doing really, really well recently. It's over accentuating the upsides. So that might be something that you want to keep on your radar. Let's have a look at Decentraland Mana, just obeying Bitcoin's gravity. What about Gala? Same, obeying the uptick. We've had an uptick and we had an uptick in Gala as well. What about Engine Coin? Same. But notice how Axie Infinity completely overshot. Have a look here. So if you look at this downward spike here and that upward area, you can see Axie is retesting that. That would be like, for example, Mana just came all the way up here and came back and retested. And it'd be like Gala coming all the way back and retested. This is how you can look at different projects using Bitcoin's fingerprint. And we talk a lot about that inside the masterclass. Let's have a look at Ape. Ape is following Bitcoin's gravity as well, but you can see some degree of weakness in Ape. For quite a time, Ape basically absorbed every dollar that went into the metaverse. We can see that the dollars are now starting to come back into the leaders. And this is what always happens. Well, not so much the leaders, just the more established players. We can see that for quite a while, Ape was the #1 metaverse token, and it's been just replaced by Mana, Decentraland. And you can see Axie is starting to come up as well. Okay, so what's happening with Chili's? Just following Bitcoin's gravity, you can see how vitally important it is to look at what Bitcoin is doing. I always say, what happened to your alt? The answer, Bitcoin happened to my alt. If you know that, you're ahead of 95% of people already. Looking at some community favorites, we can see Near did a very nice gravitational pull, as did Matic. VRA also, as well as Icon. Rose came up very strongly, very nicely. GMT came up, but it's retraced a little, and we can see that GMT and Ape had a lot of attention in previous sessions, so we would absolutely expect this kind of behavior. We call it like a changing of the guards. IOTA doing well, IOTEX doing well also. They're all following Bitcoin's gravity. What about Theta? Theta is following Bitcoin's gravity, as is T-Fuel. SHIB also. And we can see EGLD has sharply spiked down, but then reflected its sharp angle. It's coming down a little bit now. It's showing a degree of weakness. Phantom following Bitcoin's gravity. And we can see, just like Axie Infinity, CHR just exploded past that top level resistance, and it's still going. Go CHR. Loopring has been a bit up and down recently, but more up than down, and it's following Bitcoin's gravity. Atom is also following Bitcoin's gravity, but it's under resistance at the moment. Looking at some more community favorites, we can see Stellar has done quite well. It's escaped that previous top. Good to keep your eye on strength. And please, in the comments, let me know which of these cryptos you find strongest or you find would be really good to do some trading on. Let's have a look at CRV. CRV is coming up. AVAX came up but is just coming down at the moment. Arweave coming up, but a lot of resistance here at present. What about Zilliqa? Came up with Bitcoin's gravity and is just basically doing what Bitcoin is doing. What about Uni? Doing what Bitcoin is doing. See, you can see that Bitcoin happens to the alts, but not always. And I'll just explain with Tron in a minute. Let's have a look at FTT or FTX token. It's coming up with Bitcoin's gravity. If you know the Bitcoin is coming up, your alt gets really, really attractive. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. 99% of cryptos will move in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity, but sometimes there is a changing of the guard. Now, what does this mean? Tron was doing really, really well. As Bitcoin was coming down, Tron was going up. And we can see that in the DeFi space, Tron has been attracting a lot of interest. You can see it. It's an absolute standout in the DeFi space. The 1 month TVL change is nearly 52%, whereas all the other ones, all the top ones going down to the 12th project are negative. Just please bear this in mind. What you will find, and this is important to understand, when Tron or when a specific crypto project, don't worry about Tron, just treat this as a concept, as an idea. When they've absorbed so much value, people will tend to swap out and tend to look at the ones that they think have the greatest upside. Just please bear this in mind. This also often happens when Bitcoin is just coming down, down. We get a concentration of worth and value in specific projects, and they tend to come up as Bitcoin is coming down. That's why we do this kind of analysis. We want to figure out if there's any changing of the guards, what is strong, what is weak. There's opportunities every day inside crypto. And just please delete the concept of bear markets. It just won't serve you. If you hear people talking about crypto winter, bear markets, it's all over. They're actually not providing you with the skills that you need to make money in all markets. BORSOG, buy on red, sell on green. And you can see that there is some degree of skill required in this. Of course, if you want to be consistently profitable, the market always rewards your knowledge and it always penalizes your lack of knowledge. And remember, life happens for you, not to you. Life resets every day, as do opportunities. Life is always waiting for you to be ready for abundance. If you understand that you don't have to fight the universe, you don't have to fight life. Life is already for you. If you feel that life is against you, perhaps inverse that thought and say, no, life is for me, because it is. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use, and you can get 20% off by clicking that link, and you can always directly message me on Twitter at any time. And there are also links in the description for the CTKS Masterclass. You can reach out to an ambassador through the links in the description to get 80% off. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.